Oh, I got a rumbling in my body, and it's season 4 of Attack on Titan on Content! Oh my god, we're up to date. And you could be up to date with all our bonus episodes by going to subscribestar.com/content for a lowly $10 subscription. You won't regret it. And also, check out this ad for shirts. Hey kids, want to impress your friends and induce sexual arousal in your neighbors? Content t-shirts!
Wow, I've never been more impressed in my life with anything.
Content now has official t-shirt merchandise, and you can get yourself some by clicking below the video or in the Teespring link in the description. With designs like the classic Content logo.
Or this.
I've got a shirt on too.
Or this. Content! And right now, get yourself the I Survived Titan Week t-shirt. Unless you don't want to survive Titan Week, but hey, that's between you and Jesus. They're a great way to support the show and share your Content pride. So get out there, wear them, and get into Content. Content!
敵を駆逐するまで
I can't believe after 12 years, 13 years, I'm caught up on Attack on Titan.
We're caught up at last.
Well, it's only been 8 years of the anime that's been running. But
Okay,
after 8 years
whatever.
of the anime, I've seen all of Attack on Titan that exists. And I
Yeah.
gotta say, I like it.
Though there is the manga. There is information out there that we're
Well, I mean,
not
all
privy
of
to.
the anime.
The anime, right, of course. I also like it, and I'm excited to see where things go. This stretch of episodes, I mean, not to bash it at all, was more like combat focused than like information dump heavy. Though there was some very important information details that are doled out here with big changes to things.
The general direction the story is going, like, thematically, interests me a lot because we're sort of positioning this idea of Gabi and what's the boy's name?
Falco.
Falco. Gabi and Falco as like the next generation's Eren and Reiner, who are being posed as like the representative forces of each side of this war going into this arc. And I do have to wonder if Isayama had known he was going to go like exactly in this direction, if he would have made Reiner even more of a like forefront character throughout the story leading up to this, you know?
Yeah, I mean, his original plan, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he literally planned to end the series with, like, quote, every character dying way before now, which is not a criticism. It's fine that he wanted to do that, but I think this probably is an adaptation of what the plan is. You know?
So,
which, by the way, I really like and is a really cool parallel.
I like the direction it's going in because, there's a quote I read online one time that has always stuck with me, where I was searching for RPGs with mature storylines or adult characters, and someone was talking about Lost Odyssey as a game with a great story that eventually introduces like younger characters, like the main guy who's an older dude. Like, it turns out he has kids he didn't know about, I guess, and they show up in the story. And someone was like, well, it kind of becomes more of like a generic teenager-y story after that point. And someone else pointed out, well, part of adulthood is raising children. It's the effects that you have on the next generation. So it's fascinating to see here the effects that they're having on these kids, which, like, Reiner, is like the biggest influence in the lives of these children who really look up to him and really believe in carrying his legacy that he himself does not believe in at all.
Imagine your father, your figure being Reiner. Ooh, yikes.
Yeah.
Ooh, cringe. Pull that gun out of your mouth before you tell these kids how to live their lives productively.
Exactly. Gabi is very obviously Eren 2.0.
No doubt.
In the same way that he watched his mom get eaten as a direct result of Bertold having broken the wall. As a direct result of him fucking spazzing out, Gabi's friends die, so she wants the exact same revenge that Eren wants on Eren.
Well, let's set up the scene leading up to that point. So when we left our heroes, Eren was listening with Reiner to the big announcement that our boy Willie Tybur was about to make upstairs, which essentially boils down to, like, Willie, like, reveals the truth to the Marleyan people, apparently, because his family was both Eldian bad boys and also the hero Helios, whatever, who defeated them. Turns out that was not true, totally at least. They made a deal with the king or whatever, the old king of the Eldians, to leave and just go to Paradise Island. So apparently the story we had been told was true. Like the king retreated of his own volition, taking as many Eldians as possible to the island. And this threat exists of what's revealed to be the Rumbling.
The Rumbling
is mentioned for the first time, people, which is the threat of if the king were to march out his troops outward in all directions to crush, the world. There's like millions of titans in the wall, millions of colossal titans specifically, they say, in the walls. So apparently we need to make sure that doesn't happen by going in and killing them all, because Willie has gathered the leaders of like every nation in the world. It's like the UN is meeting at this one place. And like, we're gonna go in, guys, let's all work together. We've got to crush this island for good and all and get rid of these Titan people. He doesn't specify the plan exactly, but it's clearly like war on the thing, all of us at once. We gotta destroy this place before they do it to us. So that's the plan that's announced.
Now, it's also shown in a flashback that this stage, this meet-up of all the United Nations is sort of a sacrificial ploy where Tiber is expecting to be killed because he's so out in the open.
Right.
They know, they have enough intelligence to know that the enemy has infiltrated them. They just don't know where they are, what they're doing, or when they'll strike. But if they have to come here to kill him, they will be outside their own country, outside their own supply lines and everything. They can get should be able to get easily rooted out by the people who are in the town.
And that seems so stupid, because the plan here seems to be get all these leaders of all these various nations to this event in like the middle of Eldian ghetto specifically, not outside in Marley, in like where all the Eldians live and stuff. And he really predicts there will be an attack. So like they'll all be killed, which maybe is the plan in order to get those countries to commit to war against them.
That seemed to be the idea.
Okay,
That
okay.
is what like everybody is saying after it happens too. Is like, yeah, y'all just made the whole world your enemies.
Right,
So everybody's
right.
going to be attacking the island, I would assume.
And even Willie is like, he's kind of heroic in the sense that he's more than willing to die for this cause. He's like, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna die, and if I have to die in order to get the world convinced to like obliterate Paradise Island, it's a worthy sacrifice. It's what my life is
martyr.
for.
Yeah.
The reveal after that. So in our little basement, I love the scene. So we had seen at the end, Reiner and Eren had just met. Reiner is sitting there being forced by Eren to just sit there and not move and don't do anything, because directly above their heads is like a boarding house or whatever, a bunch of apartments filled with residential residences where just innocent men, women, and children are living. So if Eren or anybody was to do anything big explosion-y, it would kill a vast number of innocent people immediately. Eren immediately kills a vast number of totally innocent people, leaving us to basically this moment of Reiner being like, oh my god, Eren, please don't do this. Eren has gone full suicide bomber mode. He is a psycho killer man now, and he don't care about killing innocent people. That's where we're at with Eren.
He's on the other end of the rainbow now. Like, I mean, well, and it's funny because you have Reiner, who started off in the position of thinking that he is going in to kill. He, on some level, understands like what Titan shifters are. The fact that people are Titans. Like, these are all things that Eren didn't know when he was going on his killing spree. He thought, like, this is a whole other species that just feeds on humans, that's just inherently evil. We don't know anything about it. We can't communicate with it.
Right.
Supposedly. Well, it turns out you can. Turns out it is just people. Turns out this is all orchestrated by people, and it's war. It's that ever-turning engine of violence and vengeance that can only be put a stop to by either total destruction or some kind of, mutually assured destruction leading to a brokerage of peace.
And to give Reiner even more of a break, because the man's suffered enough, I guess, at this point. Sure, they kicked open the wall, him and Bert, they broke it down, like obliterated Wall Maria, killed like half of all Eldians living in the walls. That was really fucked up. But he had been told from birth that these are monsters and they're the enemy of the world. The only way the world can be a better place is to obliterate them. Eren knows that isn't true about these people. They're probably Eldians, like his own people in these buildings that he's blowing up. And he's doing it because it's a means to an end, and he's got to do it.
Well, and I guess what's interesting about it to me is that Reiner is somebody who, in the beginning, was willing to kill people. Now he's at a point where he's so shell-shocked. Not that he wouldn't be able to kill anybody, probably, but, like, you know, he, like, is begging Eren to stop, even though he would have done what Eren is going to do at any other point if he had had the opportunity.
And he has.
You know, and he's, like, he's lost the will to live, but he also doesn't have the same understanding that Eren might have right now. Because we don't really know Eren's plan, nor do we really know the team's plan, because he's, as we will find like towards the end of this stretch of episodes, Eren is not working with the rest of the
he's not. He's
team.
gone rogue for
Yes.
a while now.
So whatever he's thinking and whatever he feels justifies what he's done, we don't really understand, which is super interesting to me because, like, after this happened, everybody's takes seem to be like, Eren's a fucking monster. Eren's crossed the moral event horizon. Well, he really did that as soon as he killed anybody.
He's past
right?
the shonen manga event horizon of heroism. There's no coming back from a suicide bombing, killing distinctively innocent men, women, and children.
Right.
But maybe there's a greater purpose or something.
It's just like
you know?
we're at a point, we long past the point where we can't say our characters are like good people who are like only fighting because, like, they're fighting out of self-preservation.
You know
That's
who's
why
the hero?
everyone is.
You know
in
who
this.
is the one remaining hero of the story? Like everyone else, Armin shows up with the Survey Corps. So they're not working with Eren. They know that Eren's here. Eren told them via letters. So they came because they had to, because Eren is such an important piece. He's got the founding Titan powers. He is so important for any plans people are going to do. So they come to back him up. Armin, the Colossal Titan, goes to the port and also nukes the place in a bigger explosion than we've ever seen before. He obliterates the whole fucking port and all their ships and shit, and kills many innocent men, women, and children distinctly. But his is like understandable, kind of. He's aiming specifically for like a war target. He's trying to do that. Eren is taking child hostages, and he is like basically irredeemable.
I mean, well, as far as I'm concerned, like, that's the smart way to, like, that is
It
the
is
more,
smart.
that
It
to
is
me
smart.
is actually the more redeemable angle. Like, if you are willing to kill, but not willing to kill anyone for your point, then you're just going halfway. It's like, what was the point of the first person you killed if you weren't willing to kill the second person? You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, I mean, you're right.
At the end of the day, like, it's about winning the battle. Eren knows what tactics there are to win and who needs to be sacrificed for that. And, like, again, there's an idea of a greater good in his mind of, like, I mean, the Eldians are going to be eliminated by these people. They will not survive this. All these people have convinced themselves the world will just be a better place if the Eldians are gone. So, like, it would be so easy for that to happen. You know, like, if everyone else that will just be the story. We killed all the Eldians. The world's better now. The world is safe. There's no Titan people. We don't know that would create a world that would be better than if the Eldians defended themselves and erased everybody else off the planet and just lived themselves. You know, like, it's just every time anybody makes the decision to eliminate another group on this basis, and it's like, well, what are we going to do other than defend ourselves? And, like, if you make it impossible to defend ourselves other than by killing all your fucking innocent people, then, you know, you drove us to this.
He's channeling Sam Hyde. If you put Eren into a self-defense situation, he will leave your body so bloodied and disgusted on the pavement that they will puke when they come to pick up your remains if you put him into a self-defense situation. So just don't do that. I think this is the position he's found himself in. The one, like, good person here. We see Sasha, for example, shoot some of the nice guards who we had met, like, hanging out with Gabby. Gabby sees her friends crushed by rubble. One crushed by rubble, one of Gabby's, the training squad, because of Eren's big explosion. The other is simply trampled by the mob running away from the explosion. That was unnecessary. It didn't need to happen. But, like, you can't blame people for just running for their lives. These are all the grays are coming out here. I'm trying to get to, like Jean. Jean is like the soldier. He's fighting with the Eldians, but he's like, we got to minimize, civilian casualties. We got to, like, stick to the plan. The whole point of this was to avoid casualties. Like, Eren has forced us to be in a situation where now we, like, have to fight, or, like, all our plans will go awry and will be wiped out. But, like, our Survey Corps guys, like, they don't want to have to do these things if they can avoid it. They're really put into a situation where they have no choice. But Aaron's, we see in a flashback in episode 9, the most recent one, where they're just talking, after the events of 3 years ago or whatever. And Aaron's saying, you guys know we're monsters, right? And his friends are like, oh, we're just Eldians and we deserve a right to live. And like, we just need to convince the world that we're just as good as them and have just as right to life as they are. Aaron is the realist in the situation and says, guys, you're being an idiot. We have cursed blood. We have Titan superpowers. As long as we live, we will be a threat to everybody else. If you're ignoring that fact, you're just fooling yourselves and you're not accepting the reality of the situation. So I have a feeling that his greater appreciation for the reality of the world versus Eldians has got to be why he's gone rogue versus everybody else.
Yeah.
It seems like that's the case. He's the only one hard enough to follow the mission all the way through.
Killed his first man at like 8 years old, so
Right.
that's the methodology here.
That's true. I always got to remember that he's been a psycho for a very,
I never
very
forget.
long time.
It
yeah.
defines his personality to me, and it makes sense.
Despite the fact that his attitude is like mega chilled out version, like he's
Yeah.
gone deep sociopathy mode at this point. It's no longer the fiery in your face, I'm gonna kill the
Yeah,
Titans. It's
yeah.
like, I'm going to eliminate all of humanity. None of y'all know,
By the way,
but you will.
everybody says that Aaron looks like dreamy and sexy. He's taller now, and he's got a little stubble and
cool.
stuff.
He
He does
looks
look cool,
badass.
but I love that when Levi first comes in contact, he's like, oh my god, you smell like shit, Aaron. Holy shit, you fucking stinky motherfucker. I hate you so much. This shows the thematic separation. He's no longer clean and living up to Captain Levi's expectations,
True, that's
you know?
true. That's a good point.
Just thematically relevant.
I also really love the scene where, because you were talking about how each of them, Armin and Aaron, both kill a lot of people. The scene where he's climbing into the blimp and Armin opens the door and they both just look at each other with these haunted expressions for a moment and then clasp hands. And you just know, just based on the facial expressions, that is what they're communicating. Yeah, we both just killed a lot of innocent people,
Yep.
didn't we?
God, Armin looks so Chadly now. He's got a haircut. He's like a foot taller. He's the colossal Titan. Oh my God. Everyone's looking sexy as hell these days, except that stinky, stinky Aaron.
Install that
stinky.
meme of Armin opening the door wearing the Supreme jacket.
Yeah, that's right. So, when Aaron goes crazy mode, goes sicko mode, and battle starts beginning, of course, we get a big old Titan fight that takes up like 2 episodes, where all our players basically come out of the woodwork, including, of course, the newly revealed Warhammer Titan, who is the sister of Willie, apparently, who was like, looks like a maid, but she's the sister or something.
Cool ass fucking design on the
Boy,
Warhammer Titan. It's
got it
like
up
this,
here.
Like BDSM kind of thing going on.
Yeah, and has this power of making all these weapons, and is pretty cool. Pretty
Yeah, so I
cool.
guess the idea is that, we already know about like hardening and moving, like Titans are kind of all shapeshifters. This one is just super pronounced shapeshifter. It can like literally transform its body into basically anything, it seems like.
There's a moment where Mikasa shows up and like slices the nape. I think like immediately, because the whole survey course here now, and my immediate reaction was like, oh, this is they made a super special Titan, goddammit, just so that they couldn't kill it in the obvious way that literally every Titan's been killed. But the entire premise of this Titan is that it's like it is entirely like a shape-shifting, hardening power, and they explain like, oh no, it's actually like connected to the foot. Is like the person is down.
It's like a Wobbuffet, basically.
Exactly. And so this is like the theme of the battle. We're more high-level stuff now, and of course the animation is done well, where we see it form like feet up, as opposed to nape out, which we've always seen before. So they did everything right with it, and I thought the Warhammer was really cool and sick.
Yeah, she looks awesome. The fight's awesome. I loved getting a big, chaotic, tons of Titans, like shifters running around fight, because we've moved. This show, as of this season, has officially moved past generic Titans. Like, the last time we saw them was when they were being dropped as bombs from a plane. Like, at that point, the level of, like, reducing the fear we have of them down to a level of they're just controlled bombs.
The commodification, as I put it.
That's a good way of putting it. And, so now we're at a point we learn, when we get to the island, they've eliminated all the Titans off the island. There are
Pretty
no
much, yeah.
longer any walkers or whatever. They're just, the island is totally under their control. So, I guess the Eldians have all joined together as a government they seem
You
to
know,
be aware of what they're doing in the world stage, I guess.
We see
because
some
Historia
cuts.
is the queen, so like
Yeah,
it's kind
yeah.
of assumed that now that Historia is in charge, the government is on the side of our team, and they're all like all the Eldians are a tribe now.
I feel that the Survey Corps, Queen Historia, the military, they're all now, their boats are sailing in the same direction, to quote Godfather 3.
Interestingly, this is kind of how Legend of the Galactic Heroes starts, because the first like 26 episodes, or actually really the first 13 episodes of that show is just like all of the dumb old people who had been in charge like dying off so the new generation can be in charge. And like it's like kind of what happened here is like all the church people, all the old weird false kings, and all the basically anybody who was spreading bullshit to the people within the walls is gone. So now the people within the walls know what's going, like, now it's the bullshit from the rest of the world they're dealing with.
It's like when you're writing a narrative, if you're Isayama writing the story, or any story, you intentionally write in mysteries. Like, I almost think of it in moral terms. Like, it's wrong if I'm writing a story to not reveal all the information to the reader up front, because I'm just wasting their time. Of course, that's not how you tell a good story. It's about managing information reveal. There was always this core of like the king and who the Titans are and the shifters and the whole point of it. Like, all the artifice is everything about the setup, like the mystery of what's happening, who's who. And after 4 seasons, it's all stripped away, and we're finally at the core issues, and we're dealing with the real shit, and it's good.
In a way, it is like almost like season 4 is the sequel to the rest of the show up to that point. You know,
We're in
like
Attack on Titan Shippuden now, and it feels good.
Titan Z.
Yeah.
Even. Yeah, it does feel good because again, like it just feels like an even. Again, it's a war story. We've been talking about this since the start of the season, pretty much. That it's gone from being a supernatural horror mystery show to like a war action show, and like the drama is no longer about like horrifying you. Like when like Sasha, spoilers now, Sasha dies, gets shot.
Yep.
You know, they give her like a warrior's death. It's not like a scary, oh my god, suddenly Titan appeared and fucking tore her in half like it's been for most characters in the series, you know? So like, yeah, we're really in that. I mean, there's still some elements of that horrors of war, like of course when Gabby's friends get crushed by the rock and everything. But even then, like I think everything about the presentation now suggests like we're not trying to shock you with like the imagery anymore. We're shocking you with the concepts. We're shocking you with how far the characters have gone, and like the fact that Eren, you know, doing this transformation and having this big battle, this whole set piece that basically is the 4 episodes of 5 through 8. Is as memorable as the first episode or anything that's happened in the show. And like that is something I never expected Attack on Titan to be able to do. Like to top its most iconic moment of like Eren's mom getting eaten. Like I think they've done something that was as traumatic for the audience and characters as that was in the beginning, you know? So mad kudos for that.
And you know, a really great, I think, encapsulation of this idea of our characters progressing further into like moral grays is that they're all in these sexy new, you know, BDSM black leather suits.
Those are sick.
They are new, but like the weaponry used on them and all kinds of stuff, they're just ripped from Kenny's old squad. Our boy Kenny! Like his influence is really felt. They're using like the weaponry that those guys used. Because obviously they're not fighting Titans, they're fighting other humans right now. And
Although
really
they do have anti-Titan stuff as well in the form of the lightning
right. They've got both.
exploders.
They've got both, but they've really accepted their role of like fighting other human beings. We saw them 1 season ago, like grappling with the reality of having to fight humans. They didn't want to do it. They're over that now. They've accepted it. There's moral, you know, complexity that comes with it.
It's been 4 years. They've spent some time fighting humans. Well, we'll learn in episode 9 a little bit of what happened in those 4 years of them. Basically, every time, what's the country called? Marley. Every time Marley would send ships out to the island to try to investigate or continue their mission to eliminate them, they would just commandeer those ships. Basically, anybody who's not working with us is going in the ocean and can swim back home.
Everybody to join, yep. So they've got new Marleyan tech. They've got a bunch of recruits, because Marley is an imperial power. They go out and conquering places, and there are some people who maybe are subjects of some of those conquered kingdoms who don't love what Marley's doing. So we get really tall lady and like African dude with a silly name that I can't remember. They join the team as like the representatives of these like colonial powers, as like, seriously though, fuck Marley, we're joining you guys because fuck Marley. And it's pretty sick.
Yeah, the blonde, tall lady is pretty cool. We're introduced to her by way of, before Eren does his thing, she drops the Jaw Titan and Cart Titan into a well.
Right.
Which incapacitates them for a while he fights the Warhammer Titan. Eventually they get out because of Cart Titan's simps. Her simp squad, who follows her around.
Oh my god. So the Cart
Who
Titan...
conveniently took just long enough to get there for
yeah.
the place the story needed to be in for her to get out of the well. Like,
Ain't that just the
why
way?
weren't they, like, right behind them? I don't know.
I don't know. The Cart Titan is a weird horse-looking thing that carries stuff around a lot of the time. It's like a utility thing, but they strategize using that. It's got a lot of mobility, a lot of endurance. It has this armor. It has stuff they put on top of Piek when she's in her Cart Titan form with these mounted gun turrets, which I think we saw during the war at the beginning. Peek? I like to say Piek because it's written strangely. In any case, like she's herself isn't particularly scary or like an issue to battle on the field. She's just like a weird hunched over thing. But when you give her the right equipment, I've seen like tier list charts of like how good are the Titans. You know, A is the attack Titan because he's so adaptive. Female Titan's pretty good. No, Colossal Titan is S tier, but triple S tier is the Cart Titan, the tactician of the battlefield, the smartest Titan of all, who nobody can take out in a long endurance battle.
I mean, the fucking the simp squad with their guns, they take out a lot of the randos that they brought with them. There's this great moment where, like, our heroes return and we're like, oh, the boys are back in town. And then there's like a shot of like 30 of them leaping through the air, and you're like, those are all the dead ones. Yeah. And sure they are.
I don't recognize a bunch of those faces. They're not coming home, and you see them just swatted out of the air by bullets.
That's the best. The best part is like the first deaths we see are literally just like chain gun fire, like just balloon popping people. Like.
Which makes sense. It only takes one to take out a person with a fucking anti-aircraft gun or whatever. And by the way, speaking of simps, like if you look inside the guns that are mounted on the turret, like this squad of troops that works with Piek, they have like pictures of Piek inside the Titan, like on the walls.
That's great.
Like some of other girls, but there are a bunch of pictures of Piek on at least one of them, as well as like other girls and stuff. So they're like, imagine a bunch of like hardened, like World War II, you know, American troops with like their sexy pinups, but you're riding like this Eldian lady as like your mode of transportation. I just love the concept. I really love Piek and the
I also like they murder her whole simp squad. She's quite upset about it. She does not die, but all the boys on her back
Sasha
too.
snipes one in a very effective way, and how do they get like blown up? They all blow up later, right?
Everybody just like charges and fucking nukes her at the same time, and she's pretty upset. I thought that was it was a cool idea to have like a way to inflict damage on a Titan other than like that she had allies and they were like literally on her back and they get killed on her back. So it's like she's literally sitting there like, oh my god, my fucking friends are all dying right on my back.
It's like how we're all riding on the turtle's back, passing through the universe right now, you know? It's like that.
Another great dramatic moment is, so Jaw Titan gets involved and is ultimately used to defeat the Warhammer Titan by Eren taking the fucking Jaw Titan's jaw and clamping it around the ice sculpture. That was fucking awesome. That was Eren's most badass moment so far.
And then he drinks the blood from the crushed body.
So that he can get
implying
the powers.
he's got the Warhammer Titan power too now, probably.
Fucking awesome.
So, I mean, that I want to see where that manifests in the future. So, about that, I've been wondering for years, like, this whole Annie's trapped in, like, the exact same kind of crystal. They reference it, like, this is what Annie did. Clearly, like, the Warhammer Titan lady uses that to protect herself while controlling her big Titan. And so now we know. The Jaw Titan's powers specifically are like a hard enough substance to crack through it. Okay, cool. I'm really wondering, we actually know for a fact, because Armin in episode 9 goes to visit Annie still encased in crystal somewhere in Paradise Island or whatever. Have they really not found a way to crack it, even using like Eren's hardening powers? I guess it's implying that something about the Jaw Titan's power is particularly hard and particularly...
I would assume so.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just.
Does he kill the Jaw Titan?
The Jaw Titan. He's about to kill the Jaw Titan when Reiner shows back up at last. Let's touch briefly on Reiner's position during this battle. It starts off where Eren was underground with Falco and Reiner and goes Attack Titan mode. Reiner there manages to form the Armor Titan to protect Falco from being killed by this. But he's just in there unconscious, because he just wants to die. He just wants to not have to fight anymore. So he's literally comatose as Falco is saying, Reiner, please help us. Our friends are being killed over there. Please stop these madmen Eldians. But he's just too sad.
Yeah, he's catatonic until, so Gabby, who has been fled from the scene, her friends die, she runs back. She's like, I have to kill Eren no matter what. Falco's following her, and like, he's just kind of like, look, like, I mean, I appreciate it, but you're being fucking ridiculous. Like, what are you gonna do? And she's like, I don't care. I just
Gotta do something.
I fucking can't. Like, everybody's dead. I'm the badass here. I'm supposed to do something. So it gets to a point where the two of them are just shouting at the top of their lungs, Reiner, come save us. Come save us, you fuck. You're not allowed to abandon. You fucking raised us. You prepared us for this, you son of a bitch. You are not allowed to die when you still have energy in you to fight, you motherfucker.
Right before they do that, they're like, Falco, where's Reiner? And Reiner's just like, he's over there. Can we just leave him alone? He's so sad and pathetic. Please just let him die over there. But they need him to actually fight back. And correct me if I'm wrong, but when Reiner doesn't, he's like, oh God, okay, I guess I'll go help these people. His armor titan looks different. It looks like it's like the handsome Squidward version of the
it's way
armor
cooler
titan.
looking, yeah.
Is this like a leveled up, like a powered up one based on his chutzpah? Or is this like
I was thinking more slant, like
it's a fucked up version?
Yeah.
It's got like weird crystals on the shoulders and his face looks like handsome Squidward and stuff. I mean, I'm curious if they'll go into that more. Obviously, Reiner's going to do more things before our story ends. So, cool. I'll want to see what's going on with that in the future. But basically, he only does one thing. He manages to grab the Jaw Titan before it gets eaten by Eren. And Eren's like, okay, I shifted like 5 times in a row here. That's all I got. I'm out of steam. Let's pull back. We achieved our objective. Let's go. And incidentally, Eren's fight against the Warhammer Titan, I mean, just was sick as shit. The Warhammer Titan did all these nutso, like, formed giant spikes and impaled Eren. Eren leaps out of the Titan, forms another body on the way down. He has developed some insane stamina for making these powers.
I think he makes 3 total, and everybody's like, holy fuck.
He's killing it. He's killing it out there. So Eren's clearly powered up in a significant way. The battle looked awesome and was totally sick. The CG wasn't an issue.
It was great. I liked that they had him in, like, a plaza so that there's... You know, there's like fights going on in the plaza. There's little skirmishes going on around town with both the gunners. You know, because you've got Gabby kind of running through the scene. So you've got like the part where, like you said, Sasha shoots the 2 guys who are with her, and like it's just interesting to see all the different parts interacting with each other while also being separate. And yeah, it was exciting. It was like 4 episodes of nonstop action, basically. That was all fun to watch. Tons of great character moments all throughout. And you know, Zeppelins, and they get up on there. The guy who was like the watcher on the wall, I guess, is now like just a recruit on their team because he's like, oh, nobody needs the garrison anymore, so I'm out here in the fields.
That's right.
He gets owned by Gabby, who then launches or uses his pulley thing to bring her and Falco up to the ship.
So as our heroes are floating away, they're attached to the Zeppelin, you know, it makes sense, their strategy. They've achieved their objective. They've rescued Eren. A battle was fought. Okay, it's time to pull back. Gabby is on the front line saying, I'm not done fighting. Maybe you guys are done pulling back. That's not good enough for me. I saw you all kill my friends. Sasha killed 2 of her friends directly in front of her, like 2 guards who were nice to her. And so Gabby goes on a murder rampage to follow them with Falco.
I love this whole bit, even leading up to it, because of the fact that how often do they really address leaving the battlefield in shows like this? You know, the huge epic battle happens, but there's so many people involved, so many extra troops that, like, we have the scenes of all of them getting back to the ship, like checking if they have enough people, like leaving the one guy behind to, like, you know, to be the backup in case anybody comes. And then, like, there's the moment where what's his name, red-haired guy, is like celebrating because he's
Flock, I think.
yeah, he's trying to be the like, yeah, we're fucking soldiers, like we really killed it out there, like we should celebrate, whereas everybody else kind of feels shitty and like, oh, we just killed a bunch of people.
At the very least, it creates a sense of finality to the conflict. Like we've made it, we've escaped, we've succeeded. But there's just a child, like a 12-year-old girl child who's not ready to give up yet. And so, as you said, she takes advantage of the tools at her disposal. She just has some shitty rifle. She grabs like she uses that one guy, that Garrison guy's thing to pull her up. Falco grabs onto her, and she breaks onto the Zeppelin and just does whatever she can do. She's like, I gotta kill these people, and she shoots. And who does it hit of all the possible soldiers? Our old buddy Sasha.
Pretty
right
much like,
through the fucking heart.
Yeah, in direct shot, dead. Bam. Michelle had said on the last episode we did that Gabby was like the most universally hated character in this series, so I assumed she was gonna kill somebody.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting Sasha to go because she'd already been spared from having been meant to be killed off long ago in the story.
We talked about in season 2, Sasha was originally planned to die, but the editor of Attack on Titan convinced Isayama to just let her live because he liked her, because she's fun.
If there was any sign that that soft times are definitely over, not that there were a lot of soft times in Attack on Titan, but there won't be any more. Sasha's gone.
I don't want to sound callous about it, but knowing the history of Sasha, and that she was going to be written out in the past, and just how the whole thing goes, like, I'm sad to see Sasha go, obviously. She was a friend of ours. We liked her. It makes sense for the narrative to sacrifice somebody to make this feel real to us. And to everybody out there who is, saying that like Gabby's the worst and all that, I've got one little message for everybody out there. Hang on. Hashtag Gabby Gang. Wait, let me do it again. Laugh again when I do this.
Gabby Gang, Gabby Gang, Gabby Gang, Gabby Gang, Gabby Gang, Gabby Gang.
Hashtag Gabby Gang. Gabby, I'm not going to say she did nothing wrong, but in what world can you say that, like, Gabby's the true villain of this encounter?
But I've known Sasha for 8 years. I watched her eat a potato once, and it was funny. And Gabby is new and a
and she's annoying,
child.
and she yells too much, and I hate how much she yells.
She has the exact same personality as the protagonist of the show. See, so annoying.
That right there. See, Gabby is, unironically, a war hero. Wars are bad. That's true. Like those Shriners that she killed in episode 1 of season 4. Was it like good that she killed them? No. A war hero doesn't make you like a moral paragon. It makes you someone very effective in the art of killing for the cause you happen to be fighting for. Look, I'm sure I don't need to tell most people watching this. Obviously, Gabby exists as a counterpoint to Eren and our gang. To be like, feel kind of fucked up when it's somebody killing your characters now, huh? You were killing Reiner before. You're trying to kill Bert. Armin ate Bert. He was just fighting for a war. You were rooting for these guys. Now these guys are the good guys. We're getting their perspective. Obviously, all makes sense. All fair. I don't know. I guess like there is a lot of vitriol against Gabby legitimately right now online. And that's understandable.
It's not surprising, but like it is the point also. Her little celebration, the little meme from the manga panel of her like dancing over the body of fucking Sasha is god tier.
I mean, okay, I feel a little sad when I actually think about Sasha being dying. Of course. But she is a child.
Okay, I mean, Sasha is kind of a fucking meme, though. Like
Sasha was a meme.
Kind of a fucking meme.
All right, let's not get into that we're okay with Sasha dying because she wasn't enough of a character.
Okay, it's not that I'm okay with it. It's just that there is a moment where Connie, so like before she dies, Connie like grabs Jean and Sasha and is like, "You're my best friends in the whole world, dude. I love you guys." Yep. So Sasha gets killed, and Connie's like, "She was like a twin to me," and I'm like. Did we have like a ton of Sasha and Connie scenes throughout the show? They are both comically in the background for the entire series.
Yes.
I never noticed them being like together in the background. It just seems like an association by the fact that they are the two like memes.
They were, I mean, look, they were in the same squad together for a long time. They were with us doing all this covert ops with Levi in the Levi squad, so they mattered and they were important. But they served the same narrative role, which did put them kind of together in their silence in the background a lot. So in a meta sense, we all recognize these two serve the same function.
I wasn't sure if that line was supposed to make me laugh.
I don't think so.
I don't even think it couldn't. I don't think it couldn't have been intentionally funny.
Yeah?
Because everything about Sasha's funny. Like every time they talk about her, they just keep reminiscing the same scenes of her pulling out the having
Pulling out
stolen
the
the meat,
yeah,
or
yeah.
having eaten the potato, and they never elaborate on it. It's never like Eren will remember that and be like, "Oh man, Sasha with the meat." And it's like it's not like that sure meant something about her. It's just like, man, she really loved meat.
Her dying words
Is meat.
is meat. Her dying words.
Yeah, there's like a somber scene of them being like her last word was meat, and they're like, oh, it would be,
Look, while
it seemed funny to me.
That is kind of funny that her last words would be meat. Look, we know Sasha's been about one thing the entire time, and it is meat. It's been her entire character. The thing is, that's actually kind of a very thin character. So it's not to insult or make light of it. It's just the point. I'm sad that she's gone too. I like having her around. She was fun.
I like Sasha.
It's just that I can't be thinking oh, what a narrative loss.
Right.
For
it would be one thing if she had done some new exceptional thing before dying, which wouldn't have been great because it would have been too revealing. It would have been, Sasha's about to die. I think
totally
this was handled perfectly for what it's trying to do in the narrative.
It's
just I can't be upset at Gabby for killing her because to me it is the point.
Sasha killed. We see Sasha snipe the two nice guards that Gabby was just friends with. They had a life. They probably had families. Gabby watched them die to Sasha's bullet.
Yeah.
Even
when it happened, I was like, damn, Sasha's a fucking hard ass.
Yeah,
I'd never seen her gun two men down before.
She's not using her bow and arrow. What happened? Where's my beautiful meat waifu? She personally sniped the nice seeming guys on the cart titan.
Let's be real about this. This speaks to the way that people watch and engage with shows, which is, as viewers, no one cares about those two cops.
Right.
Everyone cares about Sasha. Gabby is deliberately obnoxious and a child. Everything is set up for you to be mad at Gabby. Right. It's just that, again, knowing that's the point of the story, I would feel, I don't know, maybe I would feel like I was participating more if I did feel oh no, I am upset. Maybe it's just fun to be mad at this, to feel this emotion as part of your experience of the story. But I can't bring myself back from being appreciative of the fact that I love what this adds to the narrative.
Yeah, I agree.
I want this scene to have happened because it's interesting and a good idea.
Yeah, sad that a character's gone from the narrative, basically. But since that serves to enhance the narrative by increasing stakes and whatnot, I feel like the character has been put to its ultimate purpose now, and I'm happy about that.
And I'm really excited to see what is going to be done with Gabby and Falco now. They've been kept around. They are now going to have...
in fact, Gabby Gang, ladies and gentlemen. Gabby Gang. Keep doing cool shit. She's a hero.
Their story is in many ways seems to be a microcosm of what our heroes went through, and they, after having stained their hands and worked for the government a little, they started having all these revelations about what the world actually is and all the stuff they're learning, just like Reiner had when they showed up at the island. So it's these kids are here now. They have to face the fact that everything they've been told is also fucking a lie. So how is Gabby going to feel when she has to start doubting her convictions and
because this is the thing.
Stuff like that?
Her and Falco have just been captured with Eren, with all the other guys. They're with our troops now. I think these two, Falco is the main character of the ending song. I feel that a lot's going to be done with Falco as our empathetic character. Gabby is the bitter war Eren person. Although Eren changed positions after learning the truth of the world, so maybe Gabby will too. I don't know. In any case, it's been fascinating to explore these characters and see their dynamics at play, so I can't wait for more. I'm stoked.
I wish I could remember more of the particular details of episode 9, which is a lot of setup and fill-in kind of stuff.
That's true. We're starting to learn. I mean, we don't get into the full backstory of why Eren left, where he went, and stuff. But I mean, some of it's dealing with Sasha's death. We get this flashback to one of the Marleyans who joined their team is a cook who loved to cook Sasha meat. And we see Sasha's dad come to her grave and say his respects. And that guy is he's gonna cook a meal for Sasha's dad. So I got a lot of sweet catharsis of seeing, Sasha's gone, but her dad and this guy who loved her can kind of honor her memory together. That was a really sweet bit of closure. Beyond that, I mean, we talked about, the one big element we haven't talked about is that Zeke is on our side all
Oh
along.
my God! Well, we don't know for how long. We don't know for how long he's been on our side.
This requires deep
There's
analysis.
a lot that's going to have to be. Oh,
Yeah.
so that was what it was about Gabby and Falco showing up. Is that they walk into the room and that right after Gabby has just killed an enemy soldier in his name, sees her boss working with the enemy.
With the guys. Okay, so we've got to go back in time. I assume they're gonna address all this. But so 4 years ago from this point, Zeke was leading the charge, trying to destroy these walls and killed like everybody in the Survey Corps and just fucked the place up. And appeared at that time to be working against the Survey Corps pretty dedicatedly. Okay, now he's working with them, and they say. That like Zeke's plan, so they just acknowledge Eren, the reality of Eren's ability, that he's got the Founding Titan, and they're like, oh, we just know, by the way, if you've got royal blood, we can bypass that limitation. So that whole plan is out in the open now. Everybody knows that that's what's going to be done. And Zeke's plan seems to be like, let's use the rumbling to establish a new Eldian empire. Wasn't this everything Zeke was fighting against up to this point? I'm confused.
I'm going to bet that Zeke's intentions are unclear to the people he's working with even now.
He's not being trusted by the Eldians. He killed Erwin. He
Right.
personally.
I mean, Levi makes it clear to him, I still want to kill you.
Yeah,
I probably will by the time the show is over.
It's like that Always Sunny bit where Dennis is like, I could kill you at any moment, but I would never. Actually, I shouldn't say never. I might, and I probably will.
It's like the thrill of being near the executioner's switch. Knowing that at any moment, you could throw it. But knowing you never will. But you could. Never isn't the right word, because I could. And I might. I probably will.
So Zeke's motivations, I am on the lookout for contradictions, but I assume, I mean, this is like the most interesting character to me in the entire show. So like I am waiting for the big Zeke POV dump of why he's done what he's done, his relationship with his grandparents and his parents and Eren and all this stuff, and I expect to see it coming soon. And so he's in Eldian territory. Levi escorts him to like the forest of giant trees, presumably because they don't want the Beast Titan, like their number one enemy, the war chief of the fucking Marley and Eldian troops, like in a city where he could just go berserk and kill people at any time. So they clearly don't trust him, and so he's just going to be a monkey man hiding in some trees for a while they wait for the next step of the plan. And that's where we leave things, I think.
I gotta say that, again, the first 8 episode arc here of setting up the whole Marleyan place and then knocking it down was by far the coolest part of Attack on Titan so far. I would give this season like a 9 out of 10 so far. It has been badass.
Yeah.
Episode 9 also, like the setup it's giving us, we're going in an interesting direction.
We have to go back and explain some of the things.
All of our
that
heroes
happened.
are on the island.
Yeah.
The island is fortified. It's a base. Everyone on it's on our team, assumably. So it's literally us versus the world. Is it going to be the world comes to them? Do they come to the world? Are they going to activate the rumbling? How many Titans are going to be involved? How many Titan shifters are even still alive? I haven't kept track. I don't even remember. It's going to be wild and crazy shit. Who can compete with Eren power-wise at this point? Like, are they all going to start eating each other to consolidate their powers so they can have a guy strong enough to beat Eren?
I did think to myself at one point, like, he almost ate the Jaw Titan too. Like, just have Eren eat all the Titan shifters. Give him, I want to see that and get all the powers.
That's what I'm wondering. Will we end up with, like, everybody eats each other? There's 2 left at the end who each have, like, 3 powers. They have one huge showdown with all the powers.
And just
that
for
would
fun,
be sick.
I want to see Eren, like, use the Warhammer Titan power now that he just ate that thing. So what's he going to be able to make a big sword or a big gun and shit?
I definitely think that this battle kind of explored everything you could really imagine doing with what we've had up to this point. Like, in the same way that I talked about how the Reiner and Bertolt battle was, like, such a good encapsulation of, like, what we had been waiting for. Like, this is the battle we were waiting for. It lived up to the imagination by covering all the bases of what these Titans can do, what can be done inventively with the setting and battlefield. This goes even farther than that. There's way more elements. There's tons of shit going on. And it's still really satisfying. I have to imagine that the next action scene will be totally different. Yeah. It'll be like new scale of powers, new stuff involved, new type of setting. It won't be anything like this. So I'm really curious to know what it will be.
World War arc next? I don't know. I can't wait. We'll cover it soon. Probably wait for like 4 more episodes or something like that.
No, I was saying we should just fucking do every episode.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Titan every week.
An intriguing proposition.
Maybe every 1 or 2. Depends on how much. Like if the next episode doesn't have enough to say, then we might be like, we'll hold it off. But like,
Well, look at the description down below, and you will see a plan, and that should
Yeah.
inform you as to what the next episode will be. But I would love to be up to date. I'm loving what's happening here. All right, people. Thanks for watching. You should support our lovely Attack on Titan coverage by going to subscribestar.com/Cantent. $10 for all our bonus episodes, including our last Attack on Titan relevant bonus episode, middle school, and extra secret talk about the ending and the meta stuff. Follow us on Twitter, go to the Discord down below, and send us Cantent clips for the end, and we might play it on the show. Cantent, Gabby Gang.
Gabby gang, Gabby gang, Gabby gang, Gabby gang, Gabby gang.
Canteen!